camera.
Make sure I can't kick your mic or nothing too.
Oh yeah. No.
All right, make sure both of these are in frame. You want to make sure that you can see this part close.
Yep.
All right. Nina Talks, Season 3, Episode 1.
Yeah.
Take 1.
We're here, Season 3, Episode 1 of Nina Talks.
Yeah, man.
I'm Darius.
I'm Makita.
Hey, and we happy to be in here, man. It's a new season, 2019. We got us video podcast. We shooting in 4K now.
It's a big episode. It's the first episode 2019. It's the first episode on YouTube. So if you on YouTube watching, you gotta like, you gotta subscribe, you gotta do all that good shit, you know, because we're gonna be back every month now.
Bringing you an episode every month. You know what Nina Talks does. We're bringing Nerd Pack. Blurred
black
content, anime, music, and we're bringing in a guest every episode.
Yeah, man. So, every episode is a guest this season, man. And then if you subscribe to our Patreon, fun two young niggas, you will also get additional audio only content. And you know we're gonna have some bloopers, some behind the scene good shit like that. So.
Stuff to keep you engaged.
You know, throw a little bread our way and we give y'all a little shom, you know.
So we're going to put all the links to everything in the description, and we hope you enjoyed this episode. We're starting off with...
man. First we want to talk about Mob Psycho.
Yes.
Because that shit hot right now. If you ain't watching Mob Psycho, you got to step your shit up.
Yeah, so the Season 2 that just came out, I don't know if anyone hasn't seen Mob Psycho Season 1 yet, but you should catch up to it. It's about this, 14-year-old kid named Shigo. Mob, and he's an esper, which is like a psychic.
Yeah.
And it's a really interesting series because it kind of follows Mob, and he's like,
it's almost like, I don't know if this is like official or nothing, but it's like, it reminds me of like kind of like a metaphor for like autism or something like that, because basically he's like the most powerful psychic like ever, like super strong, like can't nobody touch this nigga, but
social anxiety can.
But because he's so strong, basically he gotta like repress all his emotions and shit, because like whenever he gets to feeling, you know, sad or angry, whatever it is, he just start fucking shit up. And so like it's called Mob Psycho 100 because his emotions basically move on like a percentage scale, and like every time he feels something, it kind of like pours a little water in the emotional pot. And like once he overflows, depending on what emotion it is he's feeling, his powers will react accordingly. Yeah. So like there's the one episode in the first season where like he felt like gratitude towards his sensei, and basically like instead of him becoming super powerful, like his sensei became super powerful because he was so gracious towards his sensei. But Season 2, they get to busting, bro.
Yeah. Season 1, Season 2, they're both like really beautiful animations, but Season 2 takes Mob in a different direction, because at first, you know,
he's bossing up.
He's dealing with a lot of kind of like social issues, learning how to like stand up for himself and things like that. In Season 2, he's really kind of had his friends, and he's really built an image of himself. Yeah. And now he has to kind of, not to give too many spoilers, but Mob grows up.
Yeah, he just bossing up. Like before, he's like really passive. Like that's his whole thing, is he's like just like this 14-year-old kid who's super powerful. He ain't got no guidance. He's like super disconnected from like culture and shit. So like his sensei just kind of tell him everything. But this season now, he got friends. He got like a social life. Like he got girls that's interested in him for the first time. And so now
he did flex on the girl real quick.
Yeah,
they had a little
she
scene
tried to finesse him too, bro. This is a mild spoiler, so we're gonna talk about it. But basically, this girl asked him out, and he like, nah, I ain't really fucking with that. But like, I'll still kick it with you. And he's like super nice to her and shit. And then she's like, Mob, like, why are you being so nice to me? He's like, I don't know, you cool or whatever. Like,
I was trying to play you.
And she was just like, yeah, my friends dared me to talk to you. And he was like, aw, okay, well, I guess we're gonna talk later. And then, hello, hoe ass friends got the joning on her. And Mob came through and was like, nah, y'all not gonna talk to my shorty like this.
I'm an esper nigga.
Boss up with them sidekick powers. And then she
swept
was like,
off his feet, man. It was cool. It's a beautiful scene, man.
Mob is an interesting character. That's overall why I like it, and I think that's like what more anime are missing. Like especially a lot of like newer anime. If you look at like, everybody know I don't fuck with like 7 Deadly Sins, and then motherfucking Black Clover. Like if you like 7 Deadly Sins or Black Clover, we got to talk. We got to reevaluate your priorities, because the action is fire, but they just don't have good characters.
Yeah, the
and
complex characters are really crucial for a lot of
yeah,
those
like
animes.
having an interesting main character, because that's what makes like Mob, especially like Mob Psycho and like One Punch Man, those two in particular, as far as like, you know, they just anime about two people that's already super strong. So
Yeah.
like as far as like their
That battle's done.
power and like all of that shit, like there's nothing to really like do there. But like
we can have like they really pull in a lot of tension outside of the battlefront. They make the animation, the battles really dramatic, but you know who's gonna win.
Yeah.
You know, like even though Mob kind of getting beat up, you know he's the strongest one out
he's the
there,
strongest.
so you know he gonna win.
But what makes it interesting is his personality, his character, like the positions he gets put in with all this power. Like, cause he don't even like try to fight people off rip most times. Most of the times, he's just trying to reason with you, like, hey, bro, like I know you trying to like destroy the world and shit, but like you ain't gotta do all that, bro.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. And they be like, no, boom, punch him in the face, like kill his homeboy, and then he be like,
I
all
gotta
right.
fuck you up.
And then he be like, all right, now you know it pissed me off, so like, But
Yeah.
So
Mob, Saitama, like those are really interesting kind of anti-characters where like the drawbacks that they present up front are kind of the allure that keeps to them. You know,
Yeah.
there's like a really big dormant kind of like ability, but then also these guys are so awkward. Like they can't be the hero.
yeah,
They-
Saitama don't even be trying to fight.
He's not trying to fight. He barely can make like
Cause he be
oftentimes it doesn't
he
make
be-
sense.
He be so, but Saitama is so powerful. He don't even be interested in fighting people. That's what makes him like a funny one. Is because
Yeah.
like Saitama be minding his fucking business, like the world not ending, because he's like, oh, y'all worry about that? Bloop. And
Yeah.
that just be it. But like, yeah.
Yeah, so definitely go check out Mob Psycho season 2. We catch it on Crunchyroll. I'm not sure where else it is.
Shit, you know, get that bootleg. You ain't got that Crunchyroll.
Definitely. Oh yeah, I guess you could go get on the bootleg, but I don't know how.
You know, hey man, Crunchyroll ain't sponsoring us yet, so I ain't go.
Shout nobody, no loyalties out here until we get a check.
Look, they gotta throw a check if they want us to start promoting shit. You go get your Crunchyroll subscription with mine free,
That's
bro.
right. Watch your anime where you get your anime. Watch your fix where you get your fix.
Yeah, bro. I would, you know, high key, I'm gonna take a little tangent here. I would say, don't even, I'm looking to the camera and say this shit. Don't even get on Crunchyroll because they apps trash. They don't update them. They don't update them junks for shit. I was trying to use that shit on my motherfucking Fire Stick.
And the Chromecast.
Bruh, that shit just breaks like every 10 minutes. Like, this shit is garbage. So if you can watch your favorite anime without paying for a Crunchyroll subscription, do that. Because Crunchyroll is ass. They got good content, but their platform is ass.
Yeah.
So they never gonna sponsor us now.
It's-
but if you
it's
see this
hard out here,
Crunchyroll,
man.
go fix your shit, man.
It's hard out here for the anime lovers because anime is all over the place and there's no like one good place to find all your anime.
And I be trying to support. That's like the only reason I got Crunchyroll, because like I was watching this little YouTube video talking about how like the anime industry is in a decline because don't nobody buy
real
shit,
money.
and that's why you can't get good anime is because like y'all ain't paying for it. I'm like, all right, shut the fuck up. Here go your $7.95 a month. But then y'all just got my shit breaking, so it's like, like I'll just
Someone
watch
else
it on.
will- someone else
I'll
will
just
put
watch
that
it on
burden.
Hulu, like.
Someone else is gonna put that burden. We had Funimation for a bit. We had Crunchyroll for a bit, and
I heard VRV is fire, but they don't
VRV
be having
has
everything.
been popping up. But they are starting to add new things.
Yeah,
and
they
they
be
are
having like some independent.
they all over Twitter too, and you know how our generation is. Like
Yeah.
if you on Twitter and you shouting people out on Twitter, then
Hell
you probably
yeah.
get our coins.
So hey, VRV, if you watching this, you know you throw the young boys a little checker, Sean. We might switch that subscription. You feel me?
Start shouting out VRV anime. Now we can't
Yeah.
sell out. We got to be real. We can't sell out. Anime recommendations are always from the heart.
Yeah, they always from the heart, bro. They always from the heart.
Shit, man.
So we're gonna go into the next
Yeah, let's get into the main topic.
All right, so the main topic, the main part we want to talk about, because it's I feel like it's something that if you black, and especially if you black and you consider yourself intelligent, you know,
I think
smart
it's
guys.
definitely something that like a conversation's been popping up on social media around like people our age, kind of like.
Yeah, like, so we wanted to talk today about nigga logic. And for those who are unfamiliar with what nigga logic, my good friend Darius has written the definition down. You want to look at my phone to read it? Because I got it up. I see
Oh,
you
nah,
got you got it memorized.
I've internalized
You
this
got it memorized.
definition.
You have it so well written. I wanted you to.
We
I
have
wanted you to read
definitely
it.
done some research and kind of understanding what this phenomenon of like nigga logic is and where it's come from. And so my personal definition for nigga logic
Go
is
ahead, lay it on them.
nigga logic is a tool for us to achieve our personal desires without kind of having to go through the emotional turmoil of thinking of the consequences that affects others.
Word for word. My nigga been studying, bro.
And
my dog been researching, bro. We been in the lab.
We didn't just pull this definition out our ass.
Sure didn't.
We did a lot of background research. There's evidence all over, whether it's popular cartoons, whether it's just bullshit on Twitter, whether it's historical text. One of my favorite introductions into the conversation of nigga logic is the argument between Riley and Tom from Boondocks.
About
on season 1, episode 2, about R. Kelly.
About R. Kelly. Oh god, so relevant.
When Riley uses all of the energy in his little body to convince Tom that R. Kelly peeing on
that little
girls is equivalent to Riley peeing in the toilet. And then
so fucking foul.
So there's a couple of steps, I feel like there's definitely
break it down for the people.
I feel like there's definitely like a couple of steps in how we got to the phenomenon that we see as nigga logic, and there's some pillars.
Yeah, there's definitely some pillars.
But one common trait that we see, especially when looking at using this argument as an example, is this inability to be incorrect. Yeah, you don't have to prove
wrong.
You don't have to prove your statement right necessarily, but you also don't want someone else to prove you wrong. And we see it by the hoop jumping that happens so often.
Yeah, so basically, Tom in the argument is like, Riley, there's no way you can justify a grown ass man peeing on a little girl. That shit just don't make sense. She is young. She should not have been in that situation. All the things a normal fucking human being would think. Riley, who is in the Boondocks, if you're not familiar with the Boondocks, it's a cartoon by Aaron McGruder.
Inspired by anime.
Inspired by anime with the drawing style. And, it's just about black people. And, all the characters kind of, embody, a black stereotype. So, Riley is, the stereotypical, nigga. But not, a nigga from, the streets. Just, a nigga who wanna be in the streets.
Yeah, right. They all grew up in a kind of suburban.
Fine. Yeah, so Riley pretend to be hood and shit, but he really not hood, but he think like a nigga. And so Tom is it's a little girl, there's no way she should have been in that scenario. And Riley is well, look, all I'm saying is if she ain't want to get peed on, she could have moved. Cause if I whip up my dick and pee on you right now, what you gonna do?
You gonna move.
You gonna move. So clearly the fact that she sat right the fuck there and took that pee mean that she wanted that shit. And Tom is doing everything he can, bro.
Power.
But the problem with nigga logic is, regular logic just never beats it because it's not about being right. It's about not being wrong. Another good example is in the Boondocks. I don't have the episode number, but it's season 2 with guess hoes coming to dinner where Granddad starts dating the hoe.
Oh man.
And he's Riley's man, fuck that hoe, whatever. And he was man, why you gotta call her a hoe? All women not hoes. And this is one I had this actual conversation in real life with one of my cousins when I was in high school. He was calling all women hoes. I was bro, all women are not hoes. And he's yes they are, bro. Let me tell you why. I'm all right. Wow me.
Spread your gospel.
Break it down, oh wise sage of women and gender studies. And he's well, look at it this way. What's a hoe? That's someone who you pay to have sex with, right? I said, all right, you're right so far. Well, when you with a girl and you take her out for a date, what you doing? You paying her to have sex, right? You paying for her food, you paying for the movie, and she not gonna fuck you unless you do that stuff, so you really paying her. No, I'm not. I'm not doing those things. I'm paying for an experience. I'm paying to experience a movie with this woman, and then
you
maybe
also just buying your movie ticket most likely. She might buy her own ticket. You still might get some if you have a nice conversation on the way home.
Right, and it's based on those experiences being positive or negative, she may develop an attraction for me, and then decide to fuck me. That has nothing to. I am not putting no money in her pocket. All that money goes to AMC.
Yeah.
And Applebee's for my 2 for $20.
All she got is some popcorn in her stomach.
All she got is some popcorn, bro. Nothing else hitting them guts yet, bro. But yeah, it's niggas don't even try to
Yeah, it's really interesting. somehow the equation fits, you know?
It always fits.
It's like, I remember when I was younger and I was like watching somebody do like algebra homework, and I didn't know shit about algebra.
Of course.
And I saw a motherfucking X in there. And of course, my young ass is like, oh, obviously he's saying 2 plus X equals 4. 2 plus X equals like 4 or whatever. So obviously like X is like the 20 something letter in the alphabet. So X must be 20. And you don't really know what's going on. So you make those jumps like,
and it just makes sense, bro.
And like oftentimes I feel like when people are in arguments, nigga logic really pops up when like you kind of step into a topic that you're unfamiliar with. And instead of just kind of like
being like,
slowing down,
I'm wrong,
listening, maybe acknowledging that you're wrong, you're like, nah, I have A and I have the finish line. I just gotta get to the finish line.
I just gotta get there, bro.
I gotta get to the finish line.
I have this thing that happened and what I believe, and I'm just gonna make them work. Like I don't know how, but like they gonna work.
Yeah, I was thinking of Terry Crews in the situation that he was in.
Oh my God, with this bum ass DL, you believe, bro?
Yeah, man, where just kind of Terry Crews is just talking about like, you know, I'm a big ass dude, and like I also was like assaulted in the industry, and like, you know, it takes some gall for a big old black dude to talk about like that type of vulnerability. And so like I feel like the thing the average person could do is be like, damn, that sucks, dog.
That's wild.
I hear you, like that sucks. But nah, DL Hughley gotta roll through and be like, wouldn't happen to me. I don't know, you too big for all that shit, bro. You should have hit him. And Terry Crews is like, well, we all know that's not how like society works. I can't just be punching people.
Nah, yeah, you can, bro.
Yeah, you can,
and
bro.
it's like, and that's the thing about nigga logic. Half the time, it's about an experience that they have never experienced.
But you put yourself into it and say that you would overcome it.
Yeah, not even in an empathetic way. It's just like, oh, well, I bet you if I was there, that shit wouldn't have happened. Like, you don't know shit about the scenario.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know. Like, because most nigga logic, I think there's two things that really, like, kind of, like, combine to really just make nigga logic this, like, unbreakable wall. It's like one, just like, it's like the motherfucking, it's like Batman, bro, the unstoppable force versus the immovable object, bro. Nigga logic is the immovable object, bro. No matter how hard you push, no matter what analogies, metaphors, niggas
cited
just
text.
Believe. And right, like you could pull out a fucking book and niggas would be like, you trust the government? That's the white man's book. Oh my God.
Like, I know that, but like
they right.
They cited their sources.
Research, man. What the fuck? Like,
it is their book, but they cited the sources.
Like, they not wrong, bro. Like, nah, I'm dead serious. Like, I think first one is pride. I think like the root of all nigga logic is just pride. Like, nothing a nigga hate more than just being wrong, because niggas take being wrong with being weak.
Yeah.
And so like
that's a really dangerous.
It's just built in. Like, if
equation.
I'm wrong, I'm weak. And then like from that comes like if someone says something and you try to educate them or challenge them, or not challenge, just educate them or have a conversation, it's a challenge. Mm-hmm. It's like, no.
It's not a conversation.
You're not trying to converse with me. You're not trying to teach me. You're trying to belittle me. You're trying to disrespect me. So I'm not even trying to hear what the fuck you trying to say. I'm about to just talk down on you and make my point. I'm not listening. Like, that's the first thing. And then the second thing, I forgot what the second thing was. But pride is the most important one. And the second thing is ignorance.
Oh, yeah.
Because niggas never know what the fuck they talking about. It's never something that they've like researched and they have all the facts on. Like, you'll never be in a debate with a nigga and they're like, no, well, actually, I was reading this review in The Economist that talked about like how like blah, 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 blah. And you're like, oh, well, damn, you... Shit, my bad, bro. You got it. You did your research. They're just like, nah, my homeboy has said, and I saw on Facebook that this one nigga has said, and then you ain't see the Shade Room retweet that. Like,
that's
what the fuck? Like,
that's really when it pops up. It's like when you're talking about those situations that poke at your pride, but you also like haven't necessarily like been in yet.
Or research.
You have strong feelings about it. You don't have a whole lot of information about it, but you know you feel a certain type of way about it.
You have strong feelings and no evidence.
And so, like, especially with like I feel like the mediums that people often converse in, Twitter. There's no real like conversation.
Hey, niggas love Facebook too, bro. Don't sleep on Facebook, bro. I think Facebook niggas may arguably be worse than Twitter niggas because they have more characters.
That is true.
A Twitter nigga's ignorance is limited to 240 characters, bro. Like, only so ignorant can you be, bro. It stop after a while.
That is true. I would say in kind of like that second big piece is like, there's a gap in like that empathetic like reasoning that dudes need, and like that's not something that you like learn in school. That's not something you learn in the streets. That's not something you really like learn anywhere unless like you kind of like teach it to people.
Yeah.
And so like if you can't like put yourself in like somebody else's shoes, and you can't like actively think while being in somebody else's shoes about, oh, how would this make them feel, then dudes have a we had a tangent, but dudes have three
primary needs.
Yeah, dudes have a very specific set of desires, which we've kind of come to realize. You see it often in songs, you know. The pillars, pussy, money, weed.
Defined by the great prophet Tunchi.
You know, he said that ASAP also said this,
pussy,
but
money,
you know,
weed,
PMW is all a nigga need, and like I think that adapts in so many different forms. Like the American dream for black people, it lies in this
black
kind of
men,
realm of
not
like,
even people, black
yeah,
men,
black dudes. We harp on like, I need to get my chick. I need to get like pussy. Like I got to get that in some way, shape, or form.
It's not even about women. It's about pussy. Niggas don't care about women.
Well, I subscribe to like a certain part of the nigga logic, and like, you know, I'm about
we all do.
I'm about my woman. You know, I'm not chasing pussy specifically, but that's part of the equation.
It's a great add-on. It's a great plus.
And then money, like, you know, we in America, like,
economic success.
We chasing dollars that we don't necessarily get to see all the time.
Yup.
Niggas chasing money, and then weed.
Relaxation.
I gotta be high. The world fucking
It's
sucks.
a metaphor for relaxation, escapism. You know, all them isms. Gotta escape them isms.
Yeah, but nah, I feel like in kind of that pursuit, in that journey that like niggas have kind of set out for, we haven't necessarily always had like the empathetical skills to sit back and say, while I'm trying to achieve all these things, how do I make sure I'm not like leaving like a pile of desecration behind me?
We gonna update Tunchi's hierarchy of needs from pussy, money, weed to pussy, women, weed, and empathy.
Oh wait, I still gotta get my dollars though.
Did I just say money?
You replace money with woman.
Oh, I meant to say. Did I say pussy, women? Yeah. I meant women, money.
That's the one
weed,
track mind right
empathy.
there.
My bad. Damn.
Woman, weed, and empathy.
Women, pussy, weed. I don't know what. What we gonna talk about again? I heard pussy and got distracted. Like.
But yeah, man. So those are the pillars of nigga logic. You know, like I feel like nigga logic in its like purest form comes with ups and downs. I feel like niggas have been able to like do great things with the knowledge and the logic that we have created. It's also like it's also caused us to kind of like I want to
hear about these great things. Hold on, backtrack, bro.
I'll use every problematic like dude out there as an example. Like they kind of harp on
chance for change.
They harp on their desires of like, you know, like R. Kelly focused on singing, and he didn't work on any type of empathy or any type of morality or any of that. And he's a great singer. He is like a great entertainer, and he's a terrible person for the things that he's done. And I think like when like niggas use nigga logic to achieve their end goals, a lot of that kind of like waste that comes from it, we just ignore.
Yeah.
And like that's the dangerous part, you know, like, you know, we have the desires that we want. Nothing's wrong with wanting what you want, but like when you do that without taking the chance to like sit back and think about people
and talking to
and
man. Living with.
So, you know, I like to stand by my big toe in the man box. I got my desires, I got my shit, but you know, we can't always use nigga logic to put the dots together. You shouldn't. You should just put the dots together with the actual things.
You should just use regular logic. Just don't be a nigga. Bro, I remember one time, the craziest shit ever, man. I remember one time I had a dude walk into my studio, and before the session even started, this man came with me like, bro, you want to hear some wild shit? I'm about to blow your mind with this shit. Anytime a nigga tell me some shit like that, I know I'm about to just hear some dumbass shit.
I'm about to blow your mind.
I'm about to change the way you see the world. I'm like, I told him before he was, I was like, hey, bro, can we not do this, bro? Can we just record, man? I ain't trying to get
At
school
least wait till
today,
the end of the session,
let's
man.
just record. He like, nah, I got to tell you this because I heard this shit and it changed my mind. I'm like, all right, bro, go on, bro. Did you know that you not black? Oh, fuck. Here we go. Nah, bro. I'm black. Nah. Black is a class. What's black really? That's just a color. That's just a color. You not black. You Indian. You Native American. Am I? My family not even from this motherfucker, so how the fuck I get there, bro? Tell me more, bro. Nah, because black people was, when the white people came and they brought the slaves over, it was black people already here. Nigga, where? Where the fuck them niggas was at, bro? They was
I'm happy they was that we came too.
Them niggas should have ran, bro.
We all came.
Why the fuck they was waiting here, bro? I said, nah, bro. I mean, there was indigenous people here. Yes, there was brown people of color. There was Native Americans. But fam, they was not black, bro. Like, we ain't gonna argue about this, bro. That nigga talked about that shit for like 30 minutes. I had to charge him an extra hour for the session, bro. That shit was wild, bro. I was like, dang, bro. Like,
Man got charged to spit game.
I was like, you should have said all that on the mic or something, bro. Like, that could have been your interlude or something, bro. But you just kicked 30 minutes of nigga logic at me for $25, bro. The rates was lower back then. So niggas like that.
That's why they went up.
Nigga, oh, hell yeah, bro. I had to price niggas like that out, bro. You walk into my studio and start talking about bullshit race relations, I'm about to upcharge you.
That's hilarious. The jumps that you hear, man. I even like
just go through hoops, bro.
Prepping for this, I like went on Twitter and just wanted to see
read a bunch of
what
ignorance.
Twitter talks about nigga logic. I put the Twitter search in, hit that double quote nigga logic so I get that exact match. And between it was really funny because half of the tweets were people clouding people for nigga logic, and the other half were people clouding logic and saying this nigga logic.
Look at this man being right. Nigga logic, dumbass.
They
nigga.
was like, this nigga logic.
Look
right?
at this nigga reading like.
So sorry that logic got mixed up into the rest of the turmoil, but
So I think the moral of the story is just, if you a nigga listening to this right now,
reevaluate the logic.
Reevaluate. Just listen. That's all you gotta do.
And we all niggas. We not pointing any fingers at nobody. We just trying to do better. We trying to chase our pussy, money, weed, and woman, and be the best that we could be. But we got to make sure that we do it correctly and we don't, fuck shit up in the way. So.
I, too, am a Negro. I resonate with the black man. Oh, man. I think, we got all this yellow on, bro. I think, guests might be coming, man.
Yeah, man. We're going to take a break and we have,
the yellow gods.
Nowhere in the building.
So
stay tuned for the second half and we'll catch up with you guys after the smoke break.
Hey.
Ay, yeah. Ay, this shit sound like some summertime shit. Like fucking niggas going crazy and hoes going crazy. Ay, nowhere in the building. Yeah, we in the house now.
KTP.
Ay, yeah, skirt on niggas like kill. All my shows on tilt. Yeah, woke up like that nigga. That's just how I feel. Wait, do this for my people. Yeah, do this for my mom. Yeah, everything I touch it hit. This that Barry Bonds. Plain and simple. I'm the man in the middle. You niggas too little. I'm back on my grizzle.
Boom, we back.
Yeah. Let's get it. Welcome.
We got our guests in the building. Nowhere.
Yeah.
Yellow Gang.
Yeah.
Yellow Gang in the building.
Sir Eddie C and Zato, we excited to have you guys here. Do you want to?
I was about to give ourselves applause, but I don't think that's
Hey, bro, go ahead, shout yourself out.
Clap it up, bro.
Yeah.
Live studio audience.
And our studio audience is going crazy right now.
Yeah, so y'all want to tell the people who y'all are real quick, just give them the spiel.
I'm Eddie and I rap.
Hey, Sir Eddie C.
Got big bars.
Oh yeah, I guess I'm Sir Eddie C and I rap.
That's fire. That's it. What's good is Otto. The big body bandit, yellow fellow number 3. This motherfucker, Otto was good.
What's poppin', y'all? We glad to have y'all here, man.
This intro was crazy, bro. Alright, that's cool. Whatever.
You want to try to get it? You want to?
Nah, I ain't even. He came.
I know y'all some WWE fans.
He came with the clip. Like he unloaded.
Hey,
I'm gonna put it here. We got the camera on y'all. Y'all some WWE fans.
I know we can do some.
I know y'all used to dramatic intros.
That's what I'm saying. Like
we could play the intro music.
We gotta have people hear it. Let me
my nigga came through.
Give him something big. Yeah, give him something big.
I can't even think of no shit. Like we cool.
All right. That's cool. We got the Nowhere crew with us.
Yes, sir.
You wanna tell people a bit about how Nowhere started? You know, the music group and.
I mean, one day, I don't know, man. Like I know how it started. It was just kind of like we all kind of genuinely fucked with each other's like art and stuff at one point in time, and then we're just like, yeah, let's just make it a thing together, and like it's just worked.
Who all consist in the group?
Right now, me, Zato, Teacup Dragon, shout out to her, and Malik, shout out to him, and yeah, like we rocking with 4, and then everybody else, like y'all know we're 6 man.
Collectively,
we know you know what 6 man. Got the yellow one already.
Well, yeah, both y'all got
the yellow one.
Yeah.
In the picture.
Yeah, I got on more yellow than us.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
when Nikita came to get us, I was like, damn, my nigga got yellow on.
Hell yeah, bro. It's okay though. You can count on us, bro.
Y'all green screen yellow on us.
Yeah. On my shit.
We gonna put a nice little yellow box in the corner.
They gonna be all yellow, bro.
It's gonna be a yellow like square, like on my fucking chest. Like, I don't think that's really on his jacket.
That's hard.
We got that good CGI money, you know.
Me.
Balling,
I see the budget that went up. God damn,
that was all right. This shit feel like a big Hollywood production.
Yeah, bro. Need a production.
Yeah,
Yeah, we starting off with podcasts, but we really trying to end up with superheroes and ninjas.
I see. I need to get into the fucking bag.
We might hit y'all one day to voice some cartoon characters or some shit, something
That's
like
hard.
that, bro. That'll be a mean villain, bro. He got that deep voice.
Oh yeah.
No, what's good?
Like,
Fuck
give me
the
your
city
firstborn son.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, I mean, like that's how it started though. Like we were like just artists that all like fuck with each other, and we just kind of like, hey man, you know we can like amplify this shit if we all just join together under one brand. Like we all had like a clear understanding of branding, like from the jump. Like everybody that's like in like Nowhere, like currently already have their own identity and brand, and like that being put under one umbrella is like tight.
That's some of the parts, you know.
Yeah.
A lot more than that whole. That's real.
Yeah. So actually, I wanted to talk to y'all, ask y'all a little bit more about that because I feel like now we in this environment where like everybody could drop music, even if you drop shit. You know what I mean? So can y'all talk about kind of things that y'all have done with y'all's brand outside of just y'all's music to help y'all reach a bigger platform and kind of what y'all planning to do next as far as projects and rollouts and things like that?
Of course. Shit. Damn, that's the question right there. So what have we done? I mean, like, I think we just differentiate already just being us.
Yeah.
From the fact of how we approach music and how we all like-minded in terms of how we want it to be aesthetically and how we want people to consume it. Because we understand how things move nowadays, but at the same time, we always traditional in key senses when it comes to how we want people to consume it and listen to the music. And future-wise, we got projects coming up, a few projects actually. I don't know if we can talk about them all here on Nina.
Okay. Big exclusives.
Yeah, we working on that, and we just want to like take it to the next level because we already know like this aesthetically is like next level, high tier type of shit. So we just ready to take it up another step.
Yeah.
That was like always the thing that I was like impressed by like growing up was like people that had really tight visual things and like obvious branding, and then like and went above and beyond when they rolled out projects.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that shit was just always tight to me to see. just like a whole full package as opposed to just like, hey, here goes some songs, bruh. Like, listen to them.
Right.
Like, I never felt like that ever gave anybody an incentive to ever want to listen to a song. It's just like, here's this nameless rapper you never probably heard of. Listen to this shit versus like, that looks cool. It's a bunch of niggas running around in yellow. I don't know what's going on, but I gotta figure out what's going on, and then like they listen to the music, and the music be tight. And
right.
Now you got like somebody that's interested in your shit. So like,
facts.
Yeah.
So what was fulfilling is I had somebody recently tell me like your music feels whole, it feels complete, like it's like a complete package, and that's better than like the music by itself being good or like me just looking good, because it's both of those things. Because I look great and the music sounds great, but it's better when they acknowledge like this is a complete thing you're giving us already, because you can kind of doubt that, but when they tell you like, hey, I feel whole listening and seeing and hearing this, how you presented it to me.
Yeah, I feel like it turns your music into like a product almost.
Yeah.
I know even kind of just scrolling through your like Apple Music and different streaming platforms, Eddie, like all the different, cover arts, they're cohesive, different, but you can tell like the thought was put into like the whole process from the first single to the project.
All the way up to the project. So like all that was like intentional, man. Like especially like the cover arts. Like I'm so happy somebody fucking mentioned my cover arts. Because like all that shit is intentional, from like the names of the songs to like the color bar at the bottom. Like, a lot of people don't know, like that's like the color bar of my city where like I'm from originally. Like that's the colors of it.
Where are you from?
Belleville, Illinois.
Okay.
But like the flag looks like that. It's mostly black with yellow, green, and white on it. And like that's just like my tip to the hat of like to the city, like where I'm from. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like, and you never even notice that. Like it's just something that like I don't even really talk about it, but that's the type of thing that was always cool to me, was that people that did like little subtle things, and you had to look for it and be like, damn, this was a reference to that. Like we big on references. Yeah. Like a lot of shit that we do, like, is just really based on like shit that we thought was fly before, and just like making it new and innovative for like now.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like almost music as a product too is just kind of like people have to feel like they empathize with you in some way, or at least want to. Right. And so like if they feel like, oh yeah, I know that's the Belleville flag, like they feel like they tied to you in some way. Going up. Yeah, some way, shape or form. Like I know that he repping that, and I'm gonna respect him for repping that.
I just want to say, like, you guys look great. Like,
y'all niggas looking good.
Y'all is glowing, man. Y'all look great, man.
I'm about to get a girl, like.
His girlfriend's the key, man. Like, y'all booed up and glowed up, man. Tell me what's going on. What's the secret?
I saw Darius get his hair done on Twitter. I'm like,
damn. Darius' hair journey has been one for the fucking, like,
hey, man, it used to be a
chronicle about that shit, bro. Someone took that man's hair and gave it the touch of God. But look at this shit. She got moisture dripping off, and you can see it again.
It look hydrated, man.
Split but don't break.
That's what's up.
The man's used to split but not no more.
They don't break, bro. That's the power of black woman. That's the power of black woman, bro.
I think love is a special drug, and then black women as well. Like, shout out to y'all, man.
Hell yeah, man.
Shout out to them too.
Shout out to them. They in the other room cooling it, bro. But so who are some of y'all's influences, both musically, aesthetically? I know y'all also into like fashion. Like, who are some people that y'all just look up to? Like, I know they talk a lot about how like the music and content you consume when you're in like high school kind of like sets the foundation for kind of like what your style and shit is. So like, who are some of those people for y'all?
I mean, from a very early age, like Hov was like my favorite rapper. Like,
can't go wrong.
Yeah, and then I mean, like obviously like Pharrell, like NERD, Gym Class Heroes.
Hey.
Fucking Kanye West, which we don't really gotta talk about. Yeah.
Good.
I feel like it's okay to like acknowledge.
Like that. Like, I mean,
just say it.
That should like raise me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna like lie.
Ain't nothing wrong with. I mean, in my opinion, nothing wrong with it. Man. You can agree with the fact that like he had cultural influence,
and he's still doing a lot right now.
Right. It's some of his political views. Most rappers got dumbass political views. To be honest.
That's why we rapping and not. Should be politicians, but be nice if that was a duality, but
right. What about you, Sato?
I mean, I can get it to a long list.
Yeah, endless.
A long list. It's a lot of shit that's like in my brain that I'm like working off of now in the present. But like, generally, it's like when I think about like old Karl Kani fashion and Fubu from like that era, and Iceberg, and a lot of like Dr. Seuss books, which I don't ever tell nobody, but like Dr. Seuss and children's books. The shit that we used to read in grade school. The fucking shit, like, not this book specifically, but what's the name of the book with the fish on it that had the scales and the colors and shit on it? Yeah, like shit like that, because like that had me like thinking differently when I was young, and like I know we all had the book fairs and the scholastics and we get the books and shit. Like I was really, I was really into that, and like and like those kind of graphic novels and shit, and manga and shit. Manga, like I was into all that shit when I was young, so like I kind of like work off of that still. And like the children's books is like what keep me like jovial, like young minded, because like I think that's important when you create, is to think young at all times. So
Nina talks.
Yes, sir. Season premiere, we here.
We out here.
Sticking to that, I do feel like sticking to the children's books and like the anime and all those different types of kind of like more free, younger, innocent content does help fuel that creativity. Because you don't really tie it. It's not tied down to like.
I don't want to ever be like this washed up or old person, no matter how old I get. Cause like, the best creatives was like young minded, young face. Like they just look refreshed and like hydrated, and like you just like Hove is like 50, but he looks great. He looks young. I know he thinks young. Like his mind is always I want to keep the gears always turning. I always want to think fresh and new.
Yeah. People getting locked in their waves, man.
Yeah, man.
Especially musically, that's just never a wave.
Yeah, that's dead.
So I remember one time, back in the days we were talking, you said that you feel like fashion and just kind of like the way you look has almost like as much a impact on like the politics of what you speak and your aura and things like that too. So, I definitely feel that like the way you look really transcends like how you like what you give off. So, like,
that's exactly. I was gonna say like that's the first thing anybody, I don't even want to say knows about you, but like you said, like an impression of you is like how you look, how you present yourself, and like it's funny you mention political, because like like that is political. Like political is politics is an exchange of ideas, and like social currency. A lot of different things, but like definitely how you look. So fashion wise, I know like Zato cares about it a lot. Like I do too. It's more than just getting the fits off. Getting the fits off is just like funny. It's something that I say. But like it's self-expression. Like I know that's like super cliche, but at the end of the day, like literally, like I bought this shirt because I identify with whatever the fuck this thing is that I think is tight, and like. That's a part of you, like it's a part of your story, and like you just sharing that with the world. So even if they don't get a chance to have a conversation with you, like they can see something on your shirt or something, like you're wearing, and be like, that person might be about something that I might be about, or something like that.
That's interesting.
Like see what I'm saying? Like without even having a conversation with somebody, like if you got like a Malcolm X T-shirt on, or even a Super Mario T-shirt on, it's like it's my nigga. I know my nigga. Hey, word, like
yes sir.
Something to talk about.
I kind of want to.
I wore that shit to work and like 7 people were like, "Oh shit, Mario."
It's always conversation pieces. I want to get my shirt on camera real quick.
Oh,
I made a fucking shirt. Like,
oh wait, that's
snap.
So like I was like thinking like Mr. Popo from Dragon Ball Z is like a very racist character, and I was like, what the fuck? Like we was really watching that, and that nigga was like.
Big lips and black as midnight.
And we never knew, so we weren't cognizant back then of it, but it was like, holy shit, that was
also
crazy.
Like what we to do.
Japanese got a very different.
They outlook of black people is very like.
It's based off white people, man. Like white people told them that this is what niggas are, and they were like, oh, I mean, we ain't got none over here, so I trust you. Like
that's wild.
It's interesting though, because I do feel like between like fashion and music, a lot of those are like outlets for like black people to kind of like express themselves to the world in a way that like you can't really dilute or filter because it's straight from the source. Even what Eddie's talking about, like when you dress a certain type of way, you look a certain type of way, like you communicate without people talking to you. And, like, I feel like you a black man. Sometimes people don't want to talk to you. Especially if I'm walking down the street kind of high, you know, I got a lot to say, but I'm gonna smell like weed. He kind of fresh, but
straight up, fuck out the way. Hey man.
Nah, I think about that a lot. Cause I even me. I mean, I ain't no dressing ass nigga, but I remember like for me coming up too, just like in high school, like as I'm figuring out who I am, like that was like reflected in the shit I wore.
And you
like,
wore.
I remember like I had a phase where I felt like I was too shy, so I was wearing hella colors.
Man, me too.
Hella colors. I was wearing purple and like I had like an all red
Kind of
Air Force, like an all red,
Yeah,
like trying to be like I'm vibrant.
I stayed in Hot Topic blowing the check every week. They pull up my pictures from high school. Oh, man. Like, dog, I was, man, yeah. I get you though.
I would see that shit. And I learned, I realized, like, you know what, that shit really not me. Let's get back to wearing this black.
Yeah.
These muted colors, bro. That's what we know.
Yeah, growing up, I had the young FUBU jeans that had felt up on the back of them, bro.
It's hard.
Like they was tough. It was interesting. I had like love-hate relationships with a lot of different clothes, especially growing up. Cause like growing up, I went to school in high school like predominantly white area, and so like the contrast of like dressing for your school versus dressing for just living.
Yeah.
No.
You're gonna get clowned in one arena. You can't win, bro.
Like,
You're gonna get clowned in one.
It's funny you mention that because like Belleville was kind of like that. Like when I was like real little, like I went to like a semi-private school, like little, and it's only semi-private, whatever that means, because like we're the only school in our district, and it was like hella small. So like. Yeah, like I'd be like one of like a couple black kids with like a FUBU like platinum shirt on, Fat Albert, and and Friday was the day, right? Friday was like the last day of the week. You get a fit off, so like nigga, I'm wearing my FUBU shirt.
Hell yeah.
And then like this one white kid, William LeMay, I would never fucking forget this dude.
If William LeMay be watching this,
Nah.
fuck
Hey,
you.
nah, man.
Will was cool. Will was cool. Hey, nah, Will was cool. Oh shit.
Nigga beat the shit out of me on camera.
No, Will came up to me and was just like, "Hey, bruh, you wear that shirt every Friday." Like,
God damn. Hey, man.
and I don't even think he meant nothing by it, bro. But I'm like, damn, bro, you fucking me up right
Low-key
now.
aired you out and shit.
Yeah, I'm just like, bro, I never wear that bitch on a Friday again.
That's how it be. The slightest shit, man.
crazy.
Ruin the whole fit. Your mama real confused.
Yeah.
So it was like,
Yeah, I'm like,
it was like a time period from like, I want to say 3, 4, 5 years where you could wear FUBU and it was cool. Then right after that, it was like drastically like, no, you couldn't wear FUBU no more.
Like
I remember I had, it was before that. I had in high school, I had a pair of FUBU boots. They looked like Timberlands. And I remember wearing them. I was like, I'm finna kill them bitches with these. I used to put my pants over the logo so you would think they was Timberland. They was like, damn, them some hard Timberland. I'm like, yeah, my nigga. Like, I'm glowing. Like, I'm feeling like, yeah, I'm killing niggas. The whole time wearing FUBUs. I'm like, man, if they knew that, eat me alive. Hey, high school fucking sucks, man. Let's start. Like, bro, they would eat me alive. They knew these was FUBUs. So I just wore them for like a good month and a half. And nobody know that now because I fucking...
Getting secrets, y'all.
I disguised them bitches and had my pants over them, bro. Fuck high school, man.
hey, man. Jeans on, bro. That's sick. That's nasty, bro.
Thank God for these boot cuts.
I'm not a dressing ass nigga either though, but it's like, man, I just want people to like be themselves, dressing, expressing, and everything. Like, wear what you want. Fuck anything else. Like, express yourself how you feel. Like, type shit. Like,
people be looking crazy sometimes.
They do, man. I know that's not them. Like, you know that's not them.
Bro.
Yeah,
like, you be wearing like just ugly shit because it got a certain logo on it, bro.
You know when people like with the shits or not and can actually know how to put that shit together, because like a lot of people sometimes they just have some shit on.
Yeah, I remember I went out in Miami once. Like the only time I've ever been to Miami as like an adult. So we went out to this little club and it was just like all these white dudes wearing this like obnoxious ass Gucci.
Them gaudy shirts that was all over print.
That's hard.
But they wasn't rocking it though, you know what I mean?
Nah,
like they just wasn't getting the shit off. Like, and I was just like, man, like I know y'all only rocking that shit because it's like you heard some black dude talk about it, and now you out in Miami, you trying to get hoes, so you wearing this shit. But when you go to you go to the bar with your homeboys, you wearing that little polo and your khakis, you know what I mean? Like you just like sugar baby.
Oh yeah, nah, they trying to catch him. They trying to catch one or two.
Hey,
I'm all on him for balling the budget, man.
Miami like a playground, bro.
It is, man.
So it's like
if you got money, bro, that shit probably crazy.
Yeah, of course.
I'm poor, so I just kind of look.
Yeah, I get the fuck.
Enjoy the
out the way.
sand and the beach.
I was like, wow. Like,
Sand is so
I'm not going to Miami until like a deal comes.
Somebody send you that. Huh?
No
You don't catch me in Orlando blowing the check,
yeah,
though.
exactly. Yeah, like,
Growing up, we used to go to Destin when we wanted to ball.
Where?
Bro. Destin, Florida.
Destin,
bro.
Florida is crazy.
The
Shout out to
destination
Destin.
family trip.
I've
bro.
never been, bro.
Oh,
I
man, that
was we had a
sounds
Fort
crazy.
Lauderdale
You
family.
catch a nice corner beach, bro.
Yeah.
You and your family.
We was a strong Fort Lauderdale family. We was out there.
I ain't never been to Florida, man. Florida is wild now, man. Every time I see the news
Florida,
about Florida,
man.
they doing some new shit.
Yeah, bro. It's almost like a conspiracy, bro, because it's always Florida, man.
Does Florida exist?
Yeah, I don't think Florida exists, but we can get deep into the conversation.
Yeah. I don't even think Florida a real
Nigga,
fucking place.
We're really trying to go.
Oh yeah. So I mean, the main question is really been on my mind. It's one that Zato posed a few months back on Twitter. So I mean,
Let's get to it.
how many puppies do you think you could take 1-on-1, bro?
Okay, so
What? Could you take 1-on-1?
He tweeted it. He was
Alright,
like, next
so-
time. He said it. Next time I'm on an interview, I want someone to ask me this, and I'll screenshot that
how many
shit.
small puppies? Okay, so I did the math. Okay, so at first it was how many babies, but I felt like that was too like in your face. So like puppies is like, okay, not even puppies. I think dogs, because dogs in general are like a strong breed. I get that. So I think myself I can take any dog 1-on-1. That's not like a Rottweiler or a Pit Bull. So if we factor in puppies, that's like half the size of like a fully grown
I think we
dog.
should like pick a breed. Like, let's
So let's pick
Yeah,
a breed.
Somebody gonna come in here with
Yeah,
a
so
breed.
let's pick a
go.
breed. Let's
This
pick
is
a
like
breed.
standard Labrador. That's like a solid.
I just want to say nowhere is not responsible for
Alright,
any foul treatment of any dogs or animals. This gonna be the shit to get us out of here. Like, look at what niggas is
People
talking
gonna be in the
about.
comments hot.
Yeah, like,
So-
beating dogs.
yeah.
Michael Vick ass niggas talking about fighting
Right,
dogs.
our whole shit over with. Like,
Over with.
Long story short, I think I could beat up 26 and a half Labradors.
Lab puppies.
Oh shit, 52 then.
yeah.
Fuck it.
That's almost 101 Dalmatians.
I'm getting them. I'm cleaning them up, man. The only situation is only if they're a danger to me. Okay, so I'm not just beating up dogs and kicking dogs. Yeah, self-defense.
Like 50 something angry puppies.
Yeah, Pet Cemetery finna come out. If 50 dogs came from the grave and was attacking me, I think I can beat them up and get them out
Zombie
of
dogs.
there. Yeah,
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like a speed soccer round almost.
yeah. Fuck
You
it.
just it's like as they come in, you
kick the
just
shit
kick.
out of them niggas.
Don't y'all do like digital like fucking technology shit?
Program this shit.
Yeah. Y'all should make an app where you fucking kick the
I'm not
dogs.
gonna make
The
a dog
zombie
kicking
dogs.
app.
The
Zombie dogs, okay,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
how-
All kicking app is
That's
insane.
fire. That's hard,
We gonna get the
man.
beta out.
It's always okay.
Dog
when you turn
kick
them into zombies.
IO.
Man, they gonna come
It's
shut
okay if
y'all
they
whole
zombies.
shit down.
Zombie dogs. Fuck the zombie dogs.
Fred's about to kick in the door any minute now. We're
Yeah,
having a dog fight
yeah.
right in here.
We're gonna have the main character and you have an unlockable character.
I love dogs so much.
Yeah, Zano gonna be the unlockable character. He gonna
Can
have
you beat 56?
You gonna have a-
Unlock Zano.
You're gonna have a steel-toed FUBU boot, bro. That you kick all the dogs in.
That bitch gonna be big like that boot in that Ludacris video. Stand up. That shit gonna be.
Once you get the 50 puppies, he gonna roll the boot up and you gonna see the FUBU.
See now, it's FUBU
That's
for
all
us,
wrong,
by
Look, man,
us.
that's $1 million idea, man.
Yeah, and
Come
y'all
on,
let the
man.
shit go.
We gotta bleep this whole shit out so
Yeah.
someone don't steal it, low key.
But I really love dogs, though. I want to leave that disclaimer.
too,
I
man.
really, really love dogs.
That was the funniest side. I'm for it.
Yeah, man. We got the question answered. I think we got the exclusive scoop on that, man. Ain't no
Let's
one
get
got
it.
that, bro.
Let's
So,
get it.
Yeah.
I'm so happy you asked that, man. Shout out to the kid, man.
Look, man, we do our research.
I wanted to answer it one time in the interview.
So I have a question. Aside from kind of like music and stuff, like what other things are you guys kind of like interested to start delving in? As y'all like just
I want to do fucking I talked to Eddie about this and people. I want to do architecture and I want to do furniture.
dope.
I want to do that since I started making music. Like I think like my brain is more like equipped to do whatever. Like I don't ever limit myself to music as far as like, cause I'm a writer. We're all writers. If we do music, we can write prose, scripts, plays, anything. Like I want to do so much as far as like outside of this, like theater and shit. Like I got ideas for a lot of shit. I just want to delve deeper and like kind of whore myself out creatively until like I exhaust everything that I feel like I want to do.
I love the way you phrased that. I do.
Yeah.
I mean, like, again, when it comes to like writing and shit, that painted a really dope image, whoring myself out creatively.
Yeah.
That wasn't a cut.
We actually got so deep into the conversation we skipped time for a little bit.
Yeah, we just randomly decided to do that. It was good, John.
Bro, it was good.
Hey.
So Eddie, so what about you? What are some?
Like for me, like just kind of where my mind goes is already into like creative direction for shit.
Yeah.
Like I can see me like being like doing that for other people and shit. Cause like sometimes, and I'm not even gonna lie, it'd be like people like in our scene that like I will see and I'm like, damn, if only if they could do this and that would be fucking tight. Or I'll, like literally it'd be times where like I might, and like yeah, like if y'all watching this, more than likely I've seen y'all shit and been like damn, this would be tight if they did this,
right?
And they could do this type of rollout, and they can have this type of video. Like I do that a lot, just like that's just kind of where my brain takes it. Where if I see somebody that's like doing tight shit or something cool, and like just kind of like fleshing out idea, but niggas just have to pay me for that one day. But you know what I mean? Because that's the thing, like, and that's like a whole different thing where I could like sit down with an artist and like really come up with like really cool marketing things for that works for them. Because like everything's not gonna work for me. Like I just figure out what works for like what I think, the textures that I can like articulate through my music and like things that go along and fit that. But that's not, you know what I mean? Like I can't do every single type of thing, because that wouldn't be realistic to like who I am. That'd be insane. So like definitely stuff like that. Like, you know, like I'm still like a rapper, but then also like a poli-sci nigga. So like a part of me still always wants to be like a senator type shit. You know what I mean? Like,
senator, bro.
Yeah, bro. Like one day, like maybe.
Hey, bro, we could run the meanest campaign.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like that's,
we do all your campaign videos, bro.
Yeah, like I just think that's I just think maybe one day I'll get into that shit. But you never know, like where music can take me and shit. Like in the way the trajectory of politics now, like you don't even have to be like a career politician to fucking win the presidency. You know what I mean?
Much gotta be liked.
Much less a seat in Congress. You know what I mean? So, like,
you really gotta be liked.
Yeah. So yeah.
That's hard.
So what was your platform? What would you run on if you were to run for a senator?
Oh wow, like a platform.
Big question.
I don't know.
No prep.
Like you mean like if I ran right now or like in the future?
What's the pressing issue that you feel like you would want to?
We do not kick puppies.
Yeah, like shit's so fucked up right now, like in politics. That's like that could be a long question.
I agree.
Like you know what I mean? I feel like we talk. Yeah, like that'd just be.
That could be the campaign slogan right there, bro.
Shit
so
fucked up.
Shit so fucked up.
Bro.
Just vote Eddie. We gonna fix all of that.
Yeah, shit real fucked up.
Shit may be fucked up, but this shit ain't.
We gonna fuck all of that.
But yeah, no, like policy positions, there's a lot of shit that can be fixed as far as like criminal justice reform, like that's important. Like definitely things when it comes down to like how we're dealing with like healthcare in the country, and we still have that figured out. Like the financial crisis, like we're still like reeling from like effects of the recession in 2008 up until now. Like I think all of that education, like people say all these hot button issues like in like stump speeches and shit, but they don't even have policies that they even want to enforce. Like yeah, I mean they just saying shit like we should fix education. It's like okay, like let's do something about the ACT and the SAT. You know what I mean? Like let's do something about standardized testing and how that's like disproportionately like not good for black folks or people of color. Like let's do something about that shit. That's something very easily. Like why do they have such a stranglehold on like public and private school institutions like growing up? Like why is that a thing? Like that's a very easy fix. But like the money, like interest groups, like,
niggas don't want
it. And so niggas to say like let's get the money out of politics, but that if you go on Capitol Hill right now or in any state that you could be possibly watching this shit from, it's gonna be the people with the most expensive suits are gonna be the people like that are the lobbyists, not the senators. You know what I mean? So like that, so that's a problem. Like let's do something about that. It's a lot of shit I think about like that. But,
hey, that was promising enough.
That was like
that was it, bro.
I feel like you got a couple of tentative voters.
Bro. 2048. I'm guessing.
Yeah, bro. Like shit gonna go crazy, man. If we still here, like
got Hemingway playing in the background.
That'd be crazy, bro. Like having my own music, like playing. Like,
Terry the Turtle walking up to the vote.
Gee, that's insane.
Brandon, bro. The rollout of that campaign gonna be fresh as hell.
Hell yeah, bro.
We gonna wrap it up with our album of the weeks.
Let's do it.
Just an album you listened to this week that you fucked with. Tell the people who it was by. I can start if y'all want a little minute to think or something like that. Let me pull it up real quick.
I'm about to get in my phone.
Oh yeah. That's not a problem. I gotta do it on mine because Lord knows I be listening to hella bullshit, so I gotta dig it back up out of my.
My nigga was just bumping that Meg Thee Stallion. Shout out to her.
Hey, shout out to Megan Thee Stallion. We gotta do a whole appreciation episode on Megan Thee Stallion.
Listen, I'm trying to get on just for the purposes of like meeting her and like hanging out.
Yeah, I'm high key just trying to kick it.
I'm not just trying to hang out.
I just want to be friends.
I just want to be friends.
My album of the week is "When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go" by Billie Eilish. I don't listen to a lot of like pop music except for her because I feel like she's like hella raw, hella like interesting.
Where do we go when we go to sleep?
Yeah.
That sounds crazy. I got a theory on that.
Oh, for real? What is it?
That's how we know that we're like
living. Yeah.
That's how I know that like we're alive.
We come back from being asleep and shit.
From like
that like nothingness and shit.
Yeah. I don't think. Yeah, never mind. That's it's okay. So real quick. So like, fuck it. And I kind of use like Descartes. I think, therefore I am.
Yeah.
And like Descartes saying that, and that can get you into a whole bunch of conversations about the Matrix, like like electric dreams, all that type of shit. But like that's like dreams. Actually dreaming is what I think allows us to know that we're like actual autonomous like human beings.
Grounded in some kind of real reality.
That's not a rap conversation.
Hell yeah.
Hey, Nia talks about everything. But yeah, I fucked with this album. I thought it was just, like, one, I fuck with her kind of as just like as an artist. I think she has like a really interesting like aesthetic that's like real different from probably like the average like pop persona. I think like the fact that she's so young and she's like doing all her production with her brother, like keeping it in the fam, like that's super raw. And then like it just sounds really dope. Like sonically they just fuck around with like a bunch of really weird ideas and textures and like playing with harmonies and like where her voice is in the mix and all that shit. So even if you don't fuck with pop music, I think if you just like interesting music, it's a really good listen.
Dope. I'll keep it in the interesting music realm. I'll go with Tierra Whack's Whack World.
Hey, yes.
The drop, if you listen to this album, definitely watch the video, the drop of it. They're all really short. Probably each song's like a minute each, and so they come really hard and just kind of like go out almost at the climax. But my favorite was like Pet Sematary. Pet Sematary was a really upbeat and really morbid song, but she has a really good way of kind of doing that. Her delivery. Whack World was fire.
Yeah, check out her XXL page too.
I like fruit salad. I eat all my vegetables.
Yeah, she will.
Lower my cholesterol.
We stand a healthy queen.
Yeah, oh my gosh, for real.
Yeah, that's hard. But shit, yeah. I've been listening to a lot of the main album I've been bumping this week is Radiohead, The Bends. I've been trying to.
I'm not even here.
Yeah. I really, it's like my favorite band, but I've been listening to that, revisiting it. Just trying to get in a different space creatively right now, because it takes me to a place creatively. So yeah, I've been listening to that a lot.
Oh, that's a good one. That's probably one of the like more far out album of the weeks we've had.
Okay. I will definitely peep.
Yeah. If you do listen to Radiohead, OK Computer, The Bends, definitely. You can start with those two.
For sure.
And you can delve into that. I fuck with Radiohead.
Okay. Last but not least.
I've been listening to my shit a lot. Actually, I'm lying. I don't listen to my music after it come out. I've been listening to, I just told them that I've been listening to The Score by the Fugees a lot. Because two guys and a girl, and that sounds very similar to I can't think of a group that has two guy rappers and then a girl that is currently tight as shit right now. It may or may not be putting a project together. But yeah, that's all I got.
Let's go. Okay, what album by the Fugees?
The Score.
The Score by the Fugees.
The album, yeah.
Dope.
Which is just cool to hear Lauren say curse words, because she didn't, she didn't do that on Sex Education, so
she's all proper.
Yeah. So just hearing that different side of her is cool, and seeing how she shined so much on those tracks. You can tell she was the focus.
Yeah.
But it worked really well. So I like to go back and listen to other shit like that, older stuff.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Damn. Well, thanks guys. This was a dope episode. Happy that you guys were able to come through. We're
doing sign offs, or we just cutting that bitch
off? No.
Cut that bitch off.
Tell the world, man, you about to head out.
Nowhere in the building. Hey, that's all I know.
Hey, but yeah, for real, if you're watching this, I appreciate you. We appreciate you rocking with us, rocking with Nina.
Yeah.
Social media, Zato, ZAH. Hold on, man. It's a whole nother conversation.
Let's talk about it.
I fucking spell out my name on all my social medias, the pronunciation, and people still find a way to call me everything else, which I don't understand. So they still call me Zato, which I don't even know how the fuck you get that. I put the pronunciation in my Twitter and IG, and they still call me anything. So yeah, I was physically at White Castle. She said, "What you want?" I said this. She said, "Okay, who to order?" I said, "Zato, ZADO, Zato." She said, "All right." 10 minutes later, order for Zato. So it's just yeah. So follow me at Twitter and Instagram at Zato. ZAHDOUGH. Also, we got a lot of music coming out. Trying to hit the spring and the summer strong. Yeah. Project we're working on now with Keita.
Yes, sir.
Trying to get this group project going. Videos, we got some crazy concepts right now we're finna hit people with. Yeah. Just want to stay consistent and just look as good as we have. I feel like this is the best we've looked ever, and we're just trying to hit people.
We look great, and we had a good end of last year. I mean, like musically and shit. I'm coming back from like a lot of like personal stuff and just trying to like.
Man, y'all packing out phone, man, just moving.
Yeah, bro,
it was hard, man. Yeah,
that shit was crazy.
Appreciate y'all coming, man.
Hell yeah.
Y'all doing it.
Man, we got some shit on the way.
Dope. Oh yeah, man. Nowhere in the building.
Yeah.
Nina Talk
in the
season
building.
3, episode 1 premiere. Just did that.
Oh, that's hard.
This was good.
This
is good.
Yeah, man. Make sure and jam that subscribe button.
Follow me.
Oh yeah.
Come on, man. Niggas out here trying to trying to get my follows up, bro. No, I'm just kidding.
Do you, bro?
At Sir EDC.
That's it. That's it.
At Sir EDC.
On everything.
And we're gonna put all of the albums of the weeks on the website. Links to our Patreon are gonna be in the description. Catch you guys next month.
Woo! Yes, sir.
Yeah. This shit sound like some summertime shit. Like fucking niggas going crazy. And like hoes going crazy. Hey, nowhere in the building. Yeah, we in the house now.
KTP.
Yeah, skirt on niggas like Kill. All my shows on tilt. Yeah, woke up like that nigga. That's just how I feel. Wait, do this for my people. Yeah, do this for my mom. Yeah, everything I touch a hit. This that Barry Bonds. Plain and simple. I'm the man in the middle. You niggas too little. I'm back on my grizzle. Up in the rental. Watch what the spin do. Off the hills, want instrumentals. Fuck a pen or a pencil. Shit, I'm lying. Shit, I wrote.